This squirrel's about to get a makeover like you've never seen. Hey, it's Jen with Straight Jacket Crafting. I'm using this air dry foam clay from Ribbon Branch Crafts and this cute little squirrel cookie cutter impression from Crafty Man, as well as some resin eyes. And I'm going to create this adorable air dry foam clay squirrel. And then we're going to use some high pigment eyeshadow to paint him. So I'm going to spray my cookie cutter with some Pam coconut oil. This keeps it from sticking to the air dry foam clay. And I highly recommend you don't skip that step, especially if there are a lot of details in the cookie cutter. And I have a lot of cutters from Crafty Ma'am, so visit her on Facebook. I'm going to peel this out of the cutter and let it dry for 24 hours overnight, and then it's ready. And then eyeshadow never looks so good on a squirrel. You're going to get ready to see this transformation happen. So I picked up this high pigment eyeshadow for $1 at a yard sale, never been used, and I'm using it to basically paint the squirrel. And when I do this, because I'm no painter, you guys, I just enjoy the art of discovering how things work. And so that's what I'm doing here. And I've seen other crafters use the eyeshadow, and I wanted to try it. I look at pictures of cartoon squirrels. I'll pull those images up on my phone ahead of time and take a look at their colorings to help me out with this. But I am literally just using this high pigment palette to paint my squirrel. And I'm using the lighter shades of brown and peach, and there's the deep brown that I'm going around the edges with, as well as kind of a burnt orange color that has some sparkles in it. And I've used this technique before when I did the mermaid air dry foam clay mermaid, and it worked out amazing. Then when you're finished, you're going to put a layer of Mod Podge on there with a very soft bristle brush, and just be gentle when you're doing this. If you don't do this step or use a sealer, your eyeshadow will just rub right off the clay. So you have to do a sealer of some sort, and Mod Podge works for me. And then I'm going to dry it with my heat tool, just gently. And I'm going to use my favorite burnt umber and a fine tipped paintbrush to go in all of the lines that you see, all of the grooves and the crevices, and this adds depth and the detail that you need for your squirrel to really look amazing in the end. This is a step that is important as well, depending on the look that you want, of course. But I'm going to use burnt umber all the way around the edges of the squirrel also. And you can see how those details are starting to pop. This squirrel's going to go in another project, so I hope you visit my page at Straight Jacket Crafting by Jen on Facebook and find out where this little guy lands. All of those pretty acorns up there also are 2-inch cutters from Crafty Ma'am. Titebond Quick and Thick is my go-to glue, especially when using fabric or clay. And I'm going to put a little dot in each of the eyes. And then I'm going to use these resin eyes that I got from Ribbon Branch Crafts. You can find her on Etsy and also on Facebook. And that's where I got my air dry foam clay from as well. And I'm just going to push these down into the clay because it's still soft enough to do that. Oh my goodness, so cute. Then I'm going to take more burnt umber and I'm going to paint the nose, and I'm going to define the mouth and also the high points where the eyebrows would be, using that fine tip brush. I'm going to use black matte paint, acrylic paint, to add the eyelashes to the eyes. This gives it that kitschy look, which is a vintage look that I like. If you don't like that, you leave that part off. And this is a 4-inch cookie cutter, by the way. And then I went in and added a little bit of that black and some other details, and look how cute. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to put this in its final project. Again, check me out on Facebook, Jen with Straight Jacket Crafting.